Fitting the rows, the setting of each stave inside the metal hoop at the base of the barrel, required his concentration. It was certainly no time for him to be disturbed.
"Mira, could you see to the door?"
"I'm getting supper on the table."
The fist slammed several times into the door in quick succession.
"Hold on there!"
cried the cooper once again toward the door. The banging stopped.
"Mira, just leave it to the girl and give us a hand, will you?"
"I'm not leaving this stew, Hengist. Were it for the dragon talker himself calling."
The woman's voice called back from the open doorway into what passed as their home.
"Last time the girl burned the stew, and you gave us the what for?"
"Damn woman, it's the door!"
"Then answer it! I'm trying to make us a home in this forsaken place."
Hengist shook with frustration, his hands slipping. The carefully crafted barrel rose, collapsed, the ring falling and rolling loudly into a corner of the shop as the staves splayed outward, clattering against the packed dirt floor. The cooper would have liked to swear more, but knew that he would call more of his wife's ire down on him if he did. This frustrated him all the more, so he raised his wide, stained face toward the roof of the shop and roared incoherently toward the ceiling. The door rattled again, the blows from the outside sounding more insistent than before.
"Comin', I'm comin',"
Hengist rumbled. He was a large man, largest in the village, and stronger than any two of the local farmers put together. He was naturally large of frame, but bending staves from dawn till dusk had accentuated his already broad shoulders. Sweat glistened from his black curly hair, which he preferred kept short, though lately it had become more difficult to find anyone who could cut it properly. He also preferred to be clean-shaven, but, as evidenced by the thick stubble on his face, that, too, was becoming a rare extravagance in his life. He straightened up, turned, and started for the door, then hesitated. Reaching down, Hengist picked up his cooper's hammer, hefted its weight, and then reached for the door latch with his left hand, the hammer cocked back over his head in his right.
"Who's there?"
"Please let us in,"
came the high-pitched voice.
"It's late. We keep decent hours here. Come back when it's light."
"Please."
The voice was muffled but urgent through the slats of the door.
"We need help."
Hengist set his jaw. They all needed help, he thought. But he reached forward with his hand and pulled back the heavy wooden bolt that held the door closed. Two men tumbled into his shop through the door, each seeming to support the other as they fell to the dirty floor. They were young, Hengist could see, having barely seen 2 decades by the look of them. They were coated in dust from the road, and smelled as though they had not had a reasonable cleaning in over a month. Still, both wore sandals of remarkable, if somewhat worn, craftsmanship, and carried a pack on their backs beneath their drab cloaks of sturdy, dull green cloth. But it was their tunics that drew the eye of the cooper at once. Even through the coating of powder over them he could see that they were white, and that the cloth itself shined in places. Hengist raised his hammer menacingly.
"What do you want?"
One of the young men rolled over, his slender chest working hard as he gasped for breath. His face was pinched and hawkish, with small, narrow eyes. The youth's beard had once been carefully trimmed, but was now showing itself as having had neglect for some time. It was his high voice Hengist had heard through the door.
Where are we?"
"You come banging down my door in the dark of night and you don't even know where you be?"
Hengist's voice rumbled menacingly as he spoke. The narrow-faced youth held up his open hands, whether in surrender or defense Hengist couldn't judge.
"Please, we just need to rest for a while, and find out the name of this place."
"This be Wellstead,"
the cooper answered cautiously, gripping his hammer tighter, his muscles drawing taut in anticipation.
"And I be Hengist, and that's all you'll be asking until I get some answers of my own."
The second youth, drawing himself up on all fours, spoke haltingly in a richer baritone voice. "Wellstead, eh? We're still in the eastern marches, Gaius. Somewhere around 100 miles south of Dragathia, I think."
"Taking me to places I've never heard of again, Trajan?"
Gaius asked, through a gulping breath. "It's a place a good deal further beyond never heard of," Trajan replied. "Never heard of would be relatively close comparatively."
"That's enough out of both of you,"
Hengist growled. He reached down with his free hand, gathered up the back of